Hello everyone, welcome to an analysis of dance, where we discuss the movements and debuts of the Billboard Hot Dance charts in immaculate detail, with in-depth reviews of each debut each week. Say what you want about these past weeks, you can't deny that 2023 is starting to off really interesting and strong overall for the dance charts, not just because the number of songs hitting the Hot 100 right now, but also the sheer quality creeping up near the bottom on average. I mean, not only were the debuts really strong across the board, but the stuff rising up gives me a lot of excitement for this year. This was a really great week. I mean, even with the top 10 remaining the same and me once again not covering it under my rules, it's nice to see the good stuff finally rising to actually challenge going forward. Hopefully you can see some change in the next week or two. I'd like to see it. But now onto our falls and fall-offs. Not a whole lot here, but we did see some pretty notable fall-offs like Nazareno by Farruko and Hotnet by Tiesto and Charlie XCX after their respective recurrent rules. Thank God the form was the more successful. They're both on the year-end list and I'm okay with them exiting. Our falls meanwhile were all over the place in terms of quality. Yes, I'm not really complaining that the way we were by Kygo featuring Plasted and Damn You Got Me by Saying by Galantis, David Guetta and MNEK fell off their debuts to 34 and 35 respectively, and Lose Your Love by Griffin and Matt Mason was going to continue to fall hard to 45. But the last two falls have me really worried moving forward. I mean, Delilah Pull Me Out of This by Fred Again is down hard to 43. This might underperform and that's a damn shame. But the really annoying case is Miss You by Southstar to 25, mostly because he's getting the least success out of the three versions of the song despite being the original creator and being unfairly snubbed in success in favor of two awful versions that shouldn't even exist. Fucking wonderful, guys. Way to treat a newcomer in the dance scene. You all should be ashamed of yourselves. But here's the thing, even despite that, when you look at our jumps and comebacks, my god, there is a lot to really look forward to here. I mean, I don't see our returns of World Hold On Fisher rework by Bob Sinclair featuring Steve Edwards at 46, and like you would know, Autumn Leaves by Courthouse, Scarlord and Corpse at 50 lasting that long, but turn to our games and they all show incredible stability across the board. The most notable jumps came from Beyonce, who saw Pure Slash Honey at 18 and Summer Renaissance at 21 of the vinyl release, as well as the hype from the Grammy nominations. It's also really telling that the former is the worst here, because the rest of these games are goddamn strong across the board. Bad Memories by Medusa, James Carter, Ellie Duhay and Fastboy to 20, Viaje by Farruko continuing to rebound to 28, Stay With Me by Calvin Harris, Justin Timberlake, Halsey and Pharrell Williams back up yet again to 30, Drugs from Amsterdam by Mal P continuing to exceed all expectations at 32, All By Myself by Alex Segala and Ellie Goulding making a big jump to 33, and most surprisingly Jungle by Fred Again getting up to 41. These are all really good to great songs, a lot of which I'm surprised are doing this well. I can only hope a fair chunk of these become real hits. That would be nice to see. But on the topic of quality, our three debuts, starting off with something shocking in number 49, Dashstar by knock2. This really surprised me. So okay, context here. knock2 is a house producer who's actually been pretty well established for a while now, with a following that even expands out to those on my Discord server who've been talking about this song in particular since 2021. Yeah, this was another late bloomer charting after consistently building up some momentum in festivals, and yeah, I can absolutely see why. It's one of those tracks that really does feel like a perfect live set staple, with the hard-hitting bass house production against a much grainier lead and some really welcome vocal chops throughout. The build-ups have a lot of crisp atmosphere with some really big sounding production touches, and I quite like the Joyride-esque drops with a lot of energy to them. This is a lot of fun to listen to. I mean, it's not revolutionary, but for someone with such a lower following than your standard charting artists on this chart, this is really impressive. Good stuff, I'll take it. Hopefully we can see more of knock2 charting in the future. Gotta say that. Number 47, Believe by ACRAZE featuring GOODBOYS.
I need a miracle, I need a miracle. It's more physical, what I need to get me through. Let me tell you.
Another shocker that I was amazed was able to cross over this week. I mean, I don't think I'm alone when I say most people thought ACRAZE would be a one-hit wonder, even on the dance charts. Do It To It was a big breakthrough, and given the long gap between it and this, it would have been fair to assume he wouldn't have been able to follow it up. I'm honestly glad I was proven wrong though, because I actually kind of really like this. For one, that hook is built on an interpolation of a trance classic, Toka's Miracle by Fragma, a trance anthem that was so big it hit #1 in the UK, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of prefer it in this context more. For one, it's being sung by GOODBOYS, where the vocals are in a much lower range that really works over this production, especially with the slower tempo where the flow is a lot better. On top of that, the production around GOODBOYS is great. ACRAZE really punched up the atmosphere here, featuring some really great synths that float out against a really spacious mix that picks up some River Stew solo Medusa-esque tones on the drop. It sounds really nice, honestly kind of surprised me. I genuinely think at this point between ACRAZE, John Summer and the Pump It Up producer Endor, I'm gonna coin a new term called the Endor effect, where these producers start with a subpar remix of an older, more low-key songs that doesn't really show their skills, but when given a second chance, they really deliver. And this song, yeah, this is great. I wouldn't mind this sticking around. Great stuff, man. Number 27, Strong by Romy and Fred Again. I genuinely don't think I could have been more excited for this, even if I tried. For one, Romy is one of my favorite vocalists of all time, with her work in the XX as well as with Jamie XX stacking up as goddamn excellent across the board. Not only that, she is working with Fred Again, who I'd argue has been slowly creeping up to be one of my favorite producers in recent memory. Actual Life 3 has only gotten better with repeat listens, and several tracks there could rank amongst my favorites of the year, hits or otherwise. Even better, both have worked wonders before. I mean, I've really grown a lot on Lights Out, but Romy's song Lifetime from 2020 is a 10 out of 10 song, easily one of my favorite songs of that year. So okay, high expectations and surprise, the song met them in spectacular fashion. What surprised me was that this lent more on elements of old school trance, with the big sounding synths that sound absolutely stunning next to the smoother percussion and the consistently fast tempo that gives the song a lot of rich beauty that we've come to expect from Fred Again at this point. The real star though, Romy, who once again proves with this that her upper range is absolutely flawless, striking the perfect balance of punch and breathy cooing that makes for her best vocal. She's an absolute star in the making. Combine this with one of the most angelic choruses of the year, plus the absolute gut punch of emotion this whole song brings, yeah, this is as close to replicating the perfection of Lifetime for a second time around as you can get. Fucking excellent song, I can only hope it sticks around. Let's please give these two another hit, they really deserve it. And yeah, even in a week as good as this, it runs away with the best. What an excellent song. As for worst, you know what, I'm not gonna bother. As both dashstar and Believe had a lot of really enjoyable elements, I can't really discredit how good those songs are. There's no worst of the week this week. Next week might be even quieter as the slowdown of releases in December takes full effect. We will have to see what crosses over. But yeah, that's all for this episode of An Analysis of Dance. See you next time.